Hey everybody, welcome back to another review. This is going to be Married at First Sight, Season 12, Episode 4. I think it's called Romance or Regret. This is after the chaos of Episode 3. This is, I think it picks up where it left off at, on now. So this is your boy Big James, and this episode was is it worse than Episode 3? Uh, let's just get right into it. We're going to start out with, I didn't take a lot of notes, so I might be missing some stuff here and there, but y'all know how it is. I'm going to talk about the juicy stuff. We're going to start with Eric and Virginia. Eric and Virginia, they get along pretty good. I'm actually surprised at how well things are going between them. I thought it would have been a disaster right away with how drunk she is. But one of the things he said in this episode was that he used to be like that. He used to always drink a lot, party a lot when he was in college and like a while after college. But now he's older. He's 38. I think she's 28. So he's just past that. And after the wedding, you can see when they get back to the hotel room that honestly, he could have had sex with her. Like she pretty much wanted it. He did too because they're all over each other. Like he loves the fact that she's all over him and she is just all over him. And I think it's wonderful. I think it's nice. I think it's great that the physical attraction. He keeps talking about how pretty she is, how attractive he is to her, and he really likes her. They meet the parents, and he meets her parents, and her parents are telling her about him about I guess her dad wasn't really that comfortable with it. He didn't really like it. Oh, and he also tells Virginia that he's been divorced. He said, but the marriage was not just it wasn't like we were in love with each other when we got married. It was kind of one of these military people who never been in the military probably don't understand what like one of those military marriages is. If you're in the military, like when he says it, I understand what he's talking about because the military doesn't give a fuck about girlfriends, boyfriends. It's husbands and wives. So if you're with somebody and you want them to be in the loop or information or even travel with you, you got to be married. And getting married is like you get paid extra, you get more benefits, you get everything if you're married. You get insurance and everything. Like, you don't normally have the good insurance if you're not married. So it's being married in the military. It's a lot of extra benefits. You get a house, you get all kinds of shit. So when he said, I just got married because it was a thing, I really got what he was saying. Some people probably didn't get that though. So yeah. So when he's talking to her parents, he tells her dad like he was married. He got divorced probably 3 years ago. They were married for 6 years. He got divorced 3 years ago, and the marriage wasn't really like a real serious thing. It was just a thing they were doing. And her dad was like, if the divorce was more recent, he would have concerns. But since it was like years ago, it's okay. And he said people can move on in that time. And he said, Virginia, she knows about divorce because like he's been divorced and remarried. So he's like, she grew up around it. And it's one of the things she talks about a lot is how she grew up around divorce. She said, everybody's divorced and remarried around her. But he gets along great with her parents. The age difference is a thing because he's 10 years older, and they're telling him like, "Hey, she's still partying. You used to party." When he said he used to party, but she's still doing that. She's still at that college age. She's still going out. She's still partying and stuff. And you got to be willing to accept that and understand that she's still in that phase. And he says he can, and I don't know if he can. He seems like he can, but the fact that he's familiar with it gives me more hope because I'm not thinking that he's completely. The fact that he's not completely in the dark about this lifestyle gives me hope. He's like, I did that before too. I've been that person, and I just grew out of it. He said it wasn't like, oh, He said I just got older, I got more responsibility. I started taking things more serious, and I just grew out of it. And he's like, he can take time and wait for her to grow out of it too. And you see their interactions during the episode where he's more understanding and going along with it and familiar with it than I thought he would be. He's like, oh yeah, I know that, yeah. And and she drinks a lot. And we see them get Well, she talks to his parents, and they're telling her pretty much like, hey, you know, he's a real conservative person, and he's a pilot, so he's gone 4 days out of the week, so you don't have to spend a lot of time alone. And Virginia was like, that's cool. I love being alone. That's not going to bother me at all. So, hey, let's do this. And so that's cool with her. She's just like, yeah, I don't really care about being alone. That's fine with me. And they were talking to somebody. His niece. It was just, I can't remember who they was talking to. It was somebody. It was, I think it was his niece was there too, or something like that. But yeah, it wasn't like no culture clash or anything like that. I don't think his family is as conservative as he thinks they are, because they're very understanding of him. Just like he is more open than I thought he would be. I think his whole family is like that. Well, they did the same thing she was doing, but now they've gotten older and they just grown out of it. And his parents seem super old as fuck. So I guess, well, that makes sense because he's older. And they get this up to go to Vegas, and they're packing, and she grabs the champagne bottle, which is just like an alcoholic drunk person supposed to do. But I like them; they're cool. I think before I thought there was no chance in hell, but now it looks like there might be, because he really into her. He really likes her a lot, and I think she really likes him. And I think if he's patient to wait for her to get the partying out of her system, and if she's really ready to stop partying and settle down, I think he's the perfect guy for that. So I think this might actually work. I wouldn't have thought it was a chance in hell, but it might actually work now. Now that we know just a little bit more about them, we can see where they're compatible at. All right, the next couple I have is Jacob and Haley. I don't even want to talk about this couple. They're so fucking... Jacob, he's so boring. After the wedding, he's talking. He says they have a great connection. I don't know where that connection is. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't see the connection. I see her just bored out of her mind. She is just sick of being around him, sick of talking to him. She has that look on her face like, I have fucked up. And he is like, he's enjoying her company because she's a nice person. And don't get me wrong, he's a great guy. He's a very nice guy. She's a wonderful lady. But I think this is just two lifestyle crashes. Just clashes, I mean. She used to traveling. He used to staying at home. She's outgoing, very partying, and he's not. When she was talking to his parents, they said, you know, in kindergarten, teacher said he was 5 going on 85. Like, he's very quiet. He's very responsible. He does the right thing. He doesn't party. He doesn't go out. He doesn't do a lot of stuff. He just stays at home. Like, he's turned his house into a resort because he just doesn't leave there. And he talks about his house way too fucking much. It's like, please shut up about your house. And everyone, it seemed like her parents were just sick of hearing about his house, his pool, his sauna, his gym, the beach he built. It's like, hey man, he pulled it up on his phone to show her parents what he had done, the security camera footage. He was like, yeah, look at the security footage. You can see, like, I built it. And they're like, the dad is like, man, I don't give a fuck what you did at your goddamn house. The mom is like, that's cool, but she heard this same story a few hours ago. They showed the clip. She heard the same goddamn story about your house. He keeps talking about his house. Oh, I don't know why he keeps talking about his house. And it's just odd. It's like, come on, dude, you gotta have more going on in your life than that. But I guess he don't. I don't know. And Haley is just so bored. She is just so bored. And it's like the parents are like, it's like his parents are talking to her, and they're kind of feel sorry for her, like, yo, he don't do a lot. He doesn't do anything. He stays home. He wants to do stuff, but when it's time to go do it, nah, son, he not finna go do it. And then her parents talking to him like, nah, man, you ain't it, because she's always moving. She's always doing this. She gets frustrated. She gets everything you are not, she is. So, and he was like, cool. It's like, nah, that's not cool at all. This ain't gonna work at all, player. This ain't gonna work at all, man. But he feels like it's going good, and I don't think Haley feels that way at all. but he's really attracted to her. I don't even think she's attracted to him. I don't. He talks about how beautiful she is, but she is just like, when she sees him, she is just like, no. He talks about eating eggs and meat, and she is like sick of that. Like, he talks about the same, like, it seems like the most exciting thing about his life is his house, and that he eats eggs and meat all day. For all 3 meals, it's eggs and meat. And he says now he wants to eat other stuff to see how his stomach can handle it. I'm like, you're gonna fucking have a heart attack in a couple of years just eating eggs and fucking meat. That's all you eat. And she was like, I'm not. And it's not that he's saying it. It's just like, that's cool for one conversation, for like one sentence. That shouldn't be your entire life discussion. About what do you do? I eat eggs and meat. And then, I go home and, I play with my dog and I hang out on the beach. I build my backyard. You want to see the beach? In my backyard, I got a sauna, a gym. It's like, okay, that's one conversation. That shouldn't be every time we talk. That's what it's about. I don't think this is going to work at all. I don't. Because I don't think she is going to sit still long enough with him. She doesn't want to. I don't think she even she does. I honestly don't feel like she even likes him. I know she doesn't like his personality. I don't think she likes how he looks because and he smells. You can tell that he smells by how she is around him and by how he acts because all he eats is meat and eggs. So he has the meat sweats and he doesn't really change his clothes that much. He wears like the same. Like he doesn't. I don't know if he's just shy or what. He probably smells like a weightlifter. Cause he is a bodybuilder, isn't he? Yeah, he probably just smells like a weightlifter, like a guy who works out all the time and eats a lot of protein and sweats a lot. But he wears like tight clothes, and when they were going to Vegas, he was packing his wardrobe. He had all these graphic tees and fanny packs and just 80s fashion stuff. And it was cool, like it's very nostalgic to look at. It's very like, oh, that's nice, that's cool, oh man, look at that. But that's your whole wardrobe? What the fuck? And he was telling her like, oh, you're jealous. She was like, yeah, it's cool. But you could tell she really was like, man, I'm about to like that shit. But the fanny pack speaker system, that was pretty cool. I wouldn't want to, well, I guess if you want to walk around listen to the music and you don't want to wear headphones, you got like a fanny pack speaker set. You can do that, sure. You fuck with everybody else's day, but you jamming. Nah, that's cool. I like that. But I don't like fanny packs, so I wouldn't have the shit. Yeah, I think that relationship is not going to work at all. I think she is already bored with him. I think she's sick of him, but I do know she realizes that he is a good person. She realizes that he's very nice. He's not like dangerous or disrespectful or anything like that. He's just dull. He's just shy, quiet, reserved, and he keeps to himself, which is just great traits, but they don't match with her personality and her traits that well. So I don't think it's going to work out. It's going to be two good people that just don't work good together. Next, we're going to go to Clara and Ryan. Clara and Ryan, I initially thought were going to be a really good couple because basically they both match. You know what? They don't match that good. He matches what she wants. Very good. I don't think she matches what he wants, though. I think he wants more, and she's not it. You know? Yeah, I'm thinking about that now. Because he doesn't seem too happy with her. But she loves everything he does. And I don't know why that is. And one of the things that now I think, well, this time she is finding a problem with him because both his parents are ministers. And she said she went to Bible college for 1 year, but she didn't stay. And that was the last time she went to a church or did anything with a church. She didn't say she just gave up on religion, but she talks like she just doesn't do organized religion anymore based on some experiences she went through or something that happened. I don't know what, but yeah, it seems like she ain't really into this. And he is like gung-ho about religion. So I think that's going to be a big problem with this. I don't think this is going to work at all. I think because she talks a lot, he doesn't seem to like that. She's very open and energetic, and I don't think he likes that. And she's not that religious, and I don't think he likes that. And I think she doesn't like that he's too religious, and that he's too closed off, and that he's too withdrawn. And he doesn't like her enough to come out of that. You know, if you like somebody enough, you will change up for him. He's not. And I think when she was talking to his parents, you know, they had the prayer before they ate. She didn't seem too comfortable with that. When she was talking to his parents, they talked about the church, faith, and it's like she really was just uncomfortable. His brother was there, and he seemed like he just didn't want to fucking be there. Like he was just sick and tired of all of it. And Ryan, I don't think he likes her, but he talks to her parents, and they're like, you know, she's a great person, she's full of energy. I think this is the same thing with Jacob and Haley. Two great people that just aren't matching personality wise. In both cases, it seems like the guys are the ones that are more reserved and more tame, because it seems like Ryan, he seems like he's more outgoing, but he doesn't want to be outgoing with her. And Claire, and she's beautiful. I don't understand that at all. It seems like she is the exact perfect type that he would want. But I think that is a very big personality clash, because he is not feeling her at all. He didn't want to talk to her parents, her family. It was just so much that it seemed like he was just like, he was past it all. Or it could just be nerves because it's new, and he's just not. He does seem uncomfortable around her, and maybe that could be it, because he hasn't gotten to know her, and he wants to get to know her better. And the honeymoon is a chance, but it just seems like this ain't gonna work for me. But that's the big thing I took away from it, was the religious problem. That was a big problem, because it's a big part of his life, and she don't want it to have anything to do with her life. But she asked him later on, you know, about kids, if they had kids. Was that in this episode, or was that the previous? I don't know, I'm talking about it anyway. If they had kids, would he raise them in the church? He was like, yeah, absolutely. And she was like, I don't want to raise kids in the church. I want to ask them, do they want to go to church, or do they not want to? I'm not going to just force them, because she felt like she was forced to go to church and she really didn't want to. And she doesn't want to do it to her kids. This is going to be a big clash for them. But it's not something that you can't work out. You know, you can always move past that. But I don't think they are. They might, but I don't think they are. Brianna and Vincent is next. Brianna and Vincent, I like them. They're beautiful together. They get along together. They're sweet. You can tell she is just loving her some him, and you can tell he really loves her. Like, it was like automatically. He's like, you know, from her it's strong and undeniable. She is like, this is the guy, and he is like, you know, this could be the woman that I'm supposed to be with. And you see when she goes to meet his family, they all love her. They love her, talking about how great he is, how wonderful she is. She tells them, you know, I'm accomplished. I'm doing things too. I'm an entrepreneur. I went to college. I'm an engineering degree. I'm an engineer. And they're like, yeah, you know, this is what he wants. He wants somebody that supports him, that believes in him, and they can have his back while he does things. And they're smart enough and understanding enough to be there with him. And Brianna is all of that. And Brianna is drop dead gorgeous, you know. And you see Vincent talking to her parents, and they're like, you know, what happened prior to this? Which is something that they didn't show any other couples ask. But I think it's good that they asked Vincent. He was like, yo, I was with this girl, and she didn't support me. You know, I had a job. I wanted to quit my job and start working for myself, start my own business. And she was like, no, don't do that. And he was like, whatever he was doing, so he was being an entrepreneur. When he was going out on his own, she just did support him. She didn't want him to do anything. She wanted him to stay safe, don't risk anything. He was like, I just can't do that. You know, I got to make my way in the world, and I needed somebody to have my back. And she was like, no, she doesn't want to do that. So he was like, it couldn't work. And they were like, you know, with Brianna, that's not the case. She will have your back. She will support you, and she is capable of doing these things. So Their families got along great with them. They get along great, and they have the same goals, and they're doing the same things. But he is more methodical, and I think she is more energetic. But they're doing the same thing. This is an opposite that works fine because they have the same personalities, they have the same drive, the same motivation. They're just doing it in different ways. But those two ways aren't incompatible. So I think they're going to be perfect. I think they'll be fine. You see them later, they go to Vegas, and when they get to Vegas, his grandmother dies. And so no, his grandma, she has a heart attack. She doesn't die, she has a heart attack. She's in the hospital. And she's being monitored, and he's like, I can fly back at any moment, but I'm gonna stay here because it's my honeymoon and I wanna be here with her. And Brianna was like, I got your back. Whatever you wanna do, that's what we're gonna do. She's just like, I'm supporting you. Like we can do this later. Which is what he wants. He wants somebody that's like, let's do what we gotta do. Support me and believe in me. And she was like, I'm with you. And I think they're going to be fine. I think they have a lot in common. They have a lot of the same, just everything. Like, they match really good. This is a good match to me in my eyes at this point. I don't see anything problems with them at all. Next, we have Kristen Paige. Kristen Paige. It starts out with Paige in the hotel room. She looks like something's going on. And she said that, Chris left at 8 o'clock to go get the menu for breakfast so they can order some breakfast. And she said now it's after 10 and he hasn't come back. She said, I call him, he doesn't answer. I don't know what's going on. He's been gone for 2 hours. So finally Chris comes back and Paige is like, what's up, man? So he's like, I went to go get the menus, and when I was headed down there, I had a panic attack. And he was like, I needed some time to myself. And I was like, a panic attack? Okay. You had a panic attack. All right. Cool. He said he's going through a lot. He just feels he's having problems with the whole process and with everything going on in his relationship and everything. And Paige does something that's very wonderful. She gets up and she moves closer to him to ask him, like, hey, what is causing you to panic? What is bothering you? And Chris is like, I'm not attracted to you. And that takes Paige back. Paige is like, what the fuck? She was like, okay, you could have told me that. Because in her confession, she was like, you could have told me that yesterday during the wedding when we were talking. You could have told me, yeah, I'm not attracted to you right then. And then that could have been easier to deal with. Now it's harder to deal with because we've had sex. They had sex the night of the wedding and that month before he left for breakfast. They had sex again. She said, so you slept with me and you found me unattractive, but you still slept with me. And she can't wrap her head around it. She was like, how could a man sleep with someone he doesn't find attractive? A lot of men do it. It's very easy. A lot of men don't do it because it's not that easy. It all depends on the person. Chris is one of those people that do that no problem. And he said that, he thought his feelings would change or that things would be different, but it's not. He's just not that attracted to her. He's just not attracted to her. He never specifies what he finds about her unattractive, though. And I think because he likes her body. Her body, he's all over her body. Physically, he is attracted. But I can't say physically, but I don't think he likes her skin color or her face, and she looks good. I don't know what he finds unattractive. He never specifies, I don't like this about you. So whatever it is, he doesn't want to say it because it might seem wrong or childish or stupid. I don't know why he doesn't specify what's wrong with Paige in his eyes. But it's fucked up that he slept with her twice, ditched her, And then said, yeah, I'm just not attracted to you. He said, and he says in his confessional that you're not what I'm used to. You're not what I want. You're probably what I need. Because he says on paper we match up, but I'm just not attracted. But she is attracted to him. I don't know why. He doesn't look that good at all. I'm being hateful. I'm hating. And I'm going to stop it. Okay? Now back to what I'm saying. She's attracted to him. That's her prerogative. And she doesn't understand why he's not attracted. Because he doesn't, like, that's bothering me now. He doesn't specify what he doesn't like about her. I don't like that. Because I'm sure it's something childish. So anyway, she goes to meet his parents. I think his parents and his aunt or something. I can't remember who the other lady there was. But Paige just says, hey, we having problems already. And they're like, it ain't been 24 hours. It ain't been 24 hours. And she's like, yeah, and she's like, she's trying to be respectful, saying, like, we got to know each other. Like, he disappeared after we got to know each other, and I don't know what happened. He said he's not attracted to me. He could have told me that yesterday before we slept together. Now, some people may say that Paige is wrong for talking to his parents about having sex. And I agree with them, but I disagree with them too. Because if they hadn't opened the door, because every time she talked to them, it was about sex. The damn dad's toast at the wedding his speech was about sex. When she talked to them one-on-one, they talked to her about having sex. He talks to her about having sex. He talked to his friends and family about having sex with her. Sex conversation has not been off the table at all with them. So I can understand why she felt like, hey, it's what the hell y'all talking about. I'm going to talk about it too. I completely understand that. Normally, no. But shit, they won't shut up about it. So fuck it. I'm going to talk about the shit too. And her dad, so I guess he raised him better than he raised him to be honest, which honest is a good thing, but he's not being honest. That he's had some kind of delayed honesty. I'm gonna fuck over you now, and I'll be honest with you later. Because if he was being honest, he would have said it at the damn altar. Before they ever said vow to sign anything, he would have said it then. No, he waited till he got that ass. Then he wanted to be honest. And I feel so bad for Paige because she like, okay, is my pussy bad? What do you find? You didn't find me unattractive before you hit it? Or you did, but you didn't say nothing. So now she is questioning herself. Like, what did I do? Is it something up with him? What is it? Because the whole situation is fucked up. And then his mom was like, well, he was drinking, so it could be like, she's like, oh, it is the alcohol. That's why that's why he don't like you, but accept with you because he was drunk. Fuck out of here with that. And they talked to Chris later, like, hey, what's up with this? And he was like, I'm not attracted to her. He's like, and I had sex with her because I thought maybe then I will form an attraction, but I didn't. So now he's telling his parents that I wasn't attracted to her. I had sex with her anyway, and then I still don't find her attractive, and I still don't like her, and I still don't want her. Just leave. But he's like, I'm going to try to build a connection because he keeps saying that on paper she's everything I want. He's looking at her, he's looking at it logistically. From the numbers standpoint, she is perfect. But as far as him, his eyes and his attraction and what's inside of him, she doesn't seem that way. But he can look at the paper and see like, damn, she is perfect. But I don't like her. So he wants to try and trick himself into liking her. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. And Paige is so fucking... She frustrates me too because she's going along with this. She's trying to figure out what she did wrong and what's going on. I'm like, just fucking leave. What are you trying to figure out? What's to understand? What's to get to the bottom of? He don't want you. It's plenty of people who do. He's telling you how great you are, how amazing you are, but he's just not attracted. I'm like, fuck you then. But he's like, oh, we can work on it. We can figure it out. He said, I just want to build an attraction. So they get their stuff to go to Vegas. And she's like, what are you looking forward to? He's like, I'm looking forward to starting over. To building, to growing, to... No. She should have whooped your ass in that hotel room. No. And Paige is like, God is doing this. She's going back to that damn delusional brainwash shit. Like, God is doing this to test us. We're going to have a strong... Like, no. God ain't got nothing to do with this. Chris is an asshole. Chris is a dog. Stop attributing his faults to God, because he confronts her after he talked to his parents and he's crying. And she's like, why are you crying? He's like, because you told my parents about us having sex. I don't do that. I'm from Chicago. We keep it private. We don't talk about kids, wives, families. We don't do that. And she was like, what? Don't talk about sex. That's private. How the fuck is it private? You haven't shut up about sex since I met you. None of your people, all the people you say that keep it real, ain't a fucking one of them shut up about sex since I met them. But when I say something I'm wrong, Paige should have slapped the fuck out of him right then. But she didn't. But she stood her ground when he kept trying to say this was all her fault. She was like, no. She stood her ground then. Like, no. He was like, you should apologize for what? You fucked over me. He can't grasp that he fucked over her. He in the wrong. She should leave. She should be done with his ass right now, but she's not. Because she's silly. She's back on that God is going to figure it out. God put us together for a reason. God did all this. God didn't put y'all together. Producers did. God ain't going to help. You're going to have to help yourself on this. I'm sorry to say it. This ain't a hardship created by the Lord. It's a hardship created by Chris. But she's falling back on her religious belief. She's falling back on God, and that's going to get her hurt worse. Because now he knows he can get away with this shit. He knows he can just fuck over her and she'll look past it. I don't know how Chris got on this show. I don't know why they haven't stopped this. I don't know why Paige believes it. Paige deserves some of this blame. Because right now, she's asking for it. She's encouraging it. It's like she wants it. And my sympathy can only go so far. Before I'm like, okay, you doing this shit on purpose. But then my thoughts. What's yours? I probably missed a lot of stuff, and I'm sorry, but I just get so frustrated watching this because it's just infuriating when you see people making just big ass mistakes at a high rate of fucking speed. It's like, come on, are you even trying? Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, leave your thoughts, tell me what I got wrong or what I didn't understand, or even what I missed. And I'll get back to you. I promise I will. Peace.